Okay, this is an obsession working. Basically, I have a little container that is most likely a jewelry box. So I spotted that and I had this spell in mind, and I thought this was appropriate. It is red. I don't know if you can see that. So just to let you know. So this is going to be like, an obsession working. So I have the guy's picture at the bottom. The guy is the target, so I have his picture at the bottom, and on the lid bit, on this bit here, I will be putting the female's picture. Now her face isn't showing. I'll be flipping that around and gluing that to that bit. And once I put the top down, all he will see inside the jar will be her. So it's a bit like in Hoodoo. In Hoodoo, I think it's called a picture box, but I do them differently. I like to put my own spin on things. So first of all, I have the petition here. No, that's not the petition. Second, I have the petition, and basically, I'm saying that he is, obsessed in a positive way, because we don't want anyone to go nuts. He's always affectionate, romantic, always thinking of her. She is on his mind. When he sleeps, he has positive dreams of her, only has eyes for her. Their love is unique, and all the past hurts are now gone. They're at one, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. I always put that in my spell work, always, with regards to love work. And a few bits and pieces that, that they're head over heels in love with each other, and the blockages are gone, and life is good. That's a taste of what I put in. So we're floating that towards us, and 1 second, is that I have pictures of them together, and what I did was I folded them in so that they're looking at each other. That's the photograph. I'm going to put a little bit of honey down the middle. One moment. It's sticky as hell as usual. It's alright. I want to just sweeten up the whole little package of the pictures. It gets a bit sticky. So 1 moment. There we go. So I have a few oils already on this, but I'm going to dress his photograph in a few oils when I finish this. So we're going to bind this. So that's the pictures, and that's a little personal note. So this is a holy death working, because again, I feel holy death is the right one for this. So we're binding towards ourselves with the little padlock. So I'm just saying into myself basically what I read out to you. Okay. You get something like that. And his photograph will go on top of that. So I just need to be careful. I don't want anyone's picture to show. So his photograph is sitting on top of that little binding. There we go. And I have some rose petals already in there, but I'll put some more in a moment. So this oil is, no, I don't want that one. Communication. This is to help him communicate more. I like to 5-spot the pictures like a dice, if you know what I mean. Reconciliation. This will help bring them together. Let's see what we've got. Holy Death oil. Alrighty, I'm going to put in Damiana. Damiana is great. It helps with the lust aspect and stuff. Not saying that there's an issue with that, but just Damiana really, really is a good for working love spells. Sorry for the view of my arm. A little bit of orris root. Again, orris root will push him, give him that bit of a push that he needs, so that's why we're using orris root. So I want to put a bit of protection on him, so we can use this anti-evil eye. If you're going to do something like this, you don't need all these bits and pieces. It's only because I've got them at hand and the client has asked for the working, and I like to go the full 9 yards. So that's the reason why I'm using all these things. Wall of fire. And I need the church dirt because I really like it in love work. Okay. Sorry for the noise. And what else will I put in here? A little bit of rush oil. There's no, actually I'll use the powder. There's no harm in using it. Whether or not it speeds up spells, I do not know. But I'll use it anyway. There's no harm in using it, so. Rose petals. Okay. Nice. Actually looks quite pretty, quite cool. It's what I want. Let's see. A little bit, any of that left. A little bit peace powder, just to make them agree a little bit more, get along. Confetti. I like confetti. I like what it symbolizes, commitment and things like that. So, okay. This is like a think of me oil. And think of me. That little oil is, oops, I call it Stay With Me. Now I'm putting a little bit of control oil over his photograph. I was going to put in some calamus, but I have calamus. It's all in the oil. I made that oil out of orris root, calamus, a few other bits and pieces. So that's to give him, again, it's like a bend over oil. It's really good for pushing the situation, to see how far it will go. And you want a little bit of chamomile again, just to keep the peace. So, looks like that. You could leave it like that. Put some honey in there. I personally don't want to do that. I like to keep everything dry. I'm going to put some brown sugar on top of that because it will sit on the Holy Death's altar. She likes brown sugar. I sometimes give her apples with brown sugar on them. But I'm going to affix this photograph to this lid. I know he's been covered up with bits and pieces, but the binding is in there. His photograph is in there, and she'll be looking down. She's on top, which is a good, it's good because it means that she has the upper hand. So, like I said, I will be gluing this little picture on this. I'm putting that over that, and I'm going to bind it with some yarn. I'm going to do that now, actually. I'm going to run and get the sugar. And I'll do a reading, but maybe in a separate video. So Apologies. I don't know how long this will run on for. But what I'm going to do as well, because I want to take this a little bit further, I'm going to do a bit of communication work on this as well. So I'm going to see if I can find, I like to use parrot feathers for communication, because parrots talk. That's why I use parrot feathers. So I find some parrot feathers, I'm going to put them in along with my sugar, and I will be burning probably a pink candle a few nights and then a red candle a few nights. And we're going to be calling on the Santa Muerte to influence him, send suggestions to him that he needs to come to the client a lot quicker. He needs to, pay attention to his dreams, pay attention to his thoughts. She's the only one. I want the Santa Muerte to open up his eyes, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit different. Again, it's a sweetening working with the emphasis on obsession. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And again, I have a reading for the client that I will do at a later date. Anyway, what did I want to say? Thanks for all the comments. Much appreciated. I'm glad that people are still watching me after all this time. Thank you for that. Also, a few strange comments I had recently. I'm trying to think what it was. About someone watched my King Paimon video, and because I called King Paimon for a love issue, person says King Paimon's not for that kind of thing. I don't call King Paimon all the time for love issues. It's not something actually that I would do. But on occasion, if I feel that he is making himself known with regards to a spell, yes, then I will go with that. I usually get a gut instinct as to what spirit I will work with for each client, if you know what I mean. That's why the spirits, they vary. Sometimes I'll go to the Goetia, sometimes I'll go to Santa Muerte. Sometimes I even go to the saints. So, I've called Saint Martha many times before. I've even called Saint Expedite for love matters. Anyway, so yeah, just a few strange comments, but you get that. It comes with the turf. So it does. So anyway, I'm going to bind this up, like I said. And there's something in my head that I wanted to say. 1 second. Okay, so I was able to glue that. You could even glue it with honey. So I used a mix of honey and actual glue. So I have been binding it. So I'm turning it clockwise. I'm going to bind it this way as well. 1 second. I just like to bind it. Sometimes I bind in a cross. Oh, it's fiddly. Okay. Come on, stay there, please. So this is where I would say into myself again the petition that he thinks of her non-stop. He loves her so much. They're going to be together and happy. Life is good. There will be no more hurt from the past. And everything will flow the way it should. Okay. And then I'm going to tie this in 3 little knots, if I can, that is. Okay, scissors, scissors, scissors. Oh. I've always used a candle flame I've always used a candle flame. I've done that since I was really young to actually cut. If I can't find scissors, I always use the candle flame. We got this. So that will go to Holy Death's altar. I probably need to bring little tea lights on that, and I'm going to burn 3 on that. Be careful with regards to fire, I should say that, because Over the years, fire safety, there's been a few people that have in the occult community that we've lost with regards to fire. So I should say that please be careful, be mindful, don't leave candles unattended. So yeah, that will sit on Holy Death's altar. I'll work it for about 7 to 9 days, probably 9, and then it'll go for deployment. Not sure when, probably the full moon, close to the full moon. Where will it go? Probably to that tree. There's a massive tree. It's an oak tree on the land, the family land. And I take all the jars there and they go underground. There's no one will ever find these items. And if they do, we'll all be gone by that point. So no one will ever find these items. So yeah, or I was going to place this in a plant pot, but it's too big. I think it's a bit big. Plant pots, I like to place my little tiny jars. Sometimes I work with small jars, and I like to place them in plant pots this size. These little ones here, they're great for plant pots, but this one will go underground, so it will. But it needs to have a little bit of time on the altar, and I need to work it and send out the suggestions each night. So I'll bring the candles down and sit with the candles each night, and we'll see how things go. I need to say that you really need to try and focus on the positive. It's easy to fall into negative thought patterns and worry and stress and when's it going to come together and when's it going to happen. And I don't, it's easy to work yourself up into a frenzy. So please don't do that, because at the end of the day, you don't want to cross it. You could cross yourself up, and I'm not just saying this. It's a fact. You could actually cross yourself up, and you don't want that. You want everything to run smoothly. So I suggest that meditation for a few minutes every other night. Just focus on you and him and the future you've got, and take in all the senses. That's what I suggest you do. Don't worry about things that, you mentioned. I don't want to give too much away, so I won't say it, but just breathe, and also don't worry about her. Let the spirit world take care of her. Just don't try and force the issue. Let everything happen. It will happen in divine time, and no pressure on him. Do not put any pressure on him whatsoever. We don't want him to stall or anything along those lines, so no pressure. Try and limit your contact with him. Let him want you. Let him come to you. Feel valued. So what I'm saying is, let him work for you. Let him come to you, and sending out your little meditative thoughts to him, of love. That will help immensely. It will really help the situation. So it's just to say to people, it's hard not to worry. I get that, but the bottom line is, try your best. Just turn the thoughts around into positive ones. I really believe in the law of attraction, that what you think is what you create. So, if you know what I mean, of course. So try your best to think positive, and you will get positive in return. And you want the spirit's grace, of course, too. So put your faith in the spirits as well. That's what I've got. It's thehouseofmagick@gmail.com. Please like, share, subscribe. Again, thanks for all the new subscribers. Thank you for coming to the channel. If you've sent me an email, I will be in touch very, very soon. I've been very busy, but I will get back to all of you. And that's about it for now, and I'll speak to you all again soon.